And she's running on a campaign of demoralization and really a campaign of destruction. But really, perhaps more than anything else, it's a campaign of hate. It's a campaign of absolute hate. Very simply, Kamala Harris is not fit to be your president. We can't have it happen. We can't have it happen. We're going to make this country strong again. We're going to make it great again. We're going to be respected again. Her message has been a message of hate and division. And my message is about saving our economy, securing our border, bringing together the greatest and broadest coalition in American history. There's never been a coalition like this. Everybody's included. Kamala has also caused untold misery through her destruction of our economy. Our economy is not, this is just, it's like a fake economy. Some of the best people on Wall Street are saying the economy is only good because they think, I don't want to say this because other people have said it. It's not me saying it, but they think Trump is going to get elected. That's the only reason our economy is good. That's the only reason the stock market is up. I don't think anybody has ever seen anything like what happened the other night at Madison Square Garden. The love in that room, it was breathtaking, and you could have filled it many, many times with the people that were unable to get in. But politicians that have been doing this for a long time, 30 and 40 years, said there's never been an event so beautiful. It was like a love fest. An absolute love fest, and it was my honor to be involved. And hopefully, you know, they started to say, well, in 1939, the Nazis used Madison Square Garden. Well, and you know what? But can you imagine that? In 1939, the Nazis, they would. But how terrible to say, right? Because, you know, they've used Madison Square Garden many times. Many people have used it, but nobody's ever had a crowd like that. And I tell you what, right now, nobody's ever had love like that. That was love in the room, and it was love for our country.
You said over the weekend, referring to it, there's a direct parallel to a big rally that happened in the mid-1930s at Madison Square Garden.
Well, look,
you were comparing that rally to a Nazi rally?
Look, I'm comparing it to the hate that came out of this, and I think they confirmed that.
You stand by that comparison, though, to a Nazi rally?
Look, the rally, you saw it for yourself. I'll let the American public make the decision of what they saw.
What about you, though?
So I know what I saw, and I'll just leave it at that.
I talked with Governor Walz yesterday. He compared Trump's rally on Sunday to that of one of the Nazi rallies in the 30s at Madison Square Garden. Do you compare that? Do you find that a similar comparison?
Listen, this election is in 7 days, and I think the American people have a very clear choice. And on the one hand, you have Donald Trump, who is constantly fanning the flames of division and hate, who is trying to have the American people point their fingers at each other, or my leadership, which is founded on a lived and experience that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us.
Will you explicitly call him a fascist tonight?
I think what's most important is recognizing that his approach is not in the best interest of America's prosperity or security.
Will you say that this evening? That he's a fascist?
I have said what I have to say, which is he is dangerous and unfit and increasingly unstable and unhinged, and the American people deserve better.
White House staffer Barbara Heineback, who's joining us from Brisbane, a former Democratic White House staffer. Good to talk to you, Barbara. Just give me first up your assessment of the desperation in the Democrat camp. It seems so clear now that they're really ramping up the attack on Donald Trump, calling him a fascist and all the rest of it. The polls keep trending in the favour of Donald Trump, and the behaviour of the Democrats seems to betray a bit of desperation to me. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Hi, Chris. Good to see you. I see Kamala beginning to come a little unglued, her party along with her. If we recall, she started off a few months ago. It was going to be joy and happiness. And then she went to, we're all in this together. Well, I don't believe you can do a 180 when it is her Democrat Party that has been talking for 3.5 years about racism and the divisiveness, and we're two very separate parties. And remember that she got in because of DEI. And the two states that I'm paying a lot of attention to right now, it's both Georgia and Pennsylvania. Now, when you look at Pennsylvania, she could have gone along with Shapiro when she was selecting her running mate. She was choosing between Walz and Shapiro. Governor Shapiro from Pennsylvania carries 19 electoral college votes. And then Walz does get 16 from Minneapolis. But she was afraid of Shapiro, not just because he was Jewish and she wanted to walk softly on that one, but more to the point, Kamala is very insecure. Shapiro is an extremely intelligent man, versed on national policies, foreign policy, diplomacy, knows a lot about Xi and Putin and Kim Jong-un. So when we see her spending all of her eggs in the basket back in Pennsylvania, she's very nervous. And she's changing up now to the Hitler speech, and they tried to turn the whole Democrat Party and a lot of the, what I call their third party, which is mainstream media. Yesterday, when we saw Trump at Madison Square Garden, he was home free, and that was a homecoming, and everyone was really having a good time. You had some great speakers there. You had one idiot, a comedian.
Yeah, I want to go to that. Let me interrupt you there, Barbara, because I want to go to that. The comedian's name was Tony Hinchcliffe, and he made a joke in very poor taste. Let's have a look.
But there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it's just racist, I heard it called on the ABC. I think they're right. Obviously, he's just bagging Puerto Rico or Puerto Ricans as well, a big voting cohort in the US. J.D. Vance, though, hit back at all the outrage about that joke.
I haven't seen it. I'm not going to comment on the specifics of the joke, but I think that we have to stop getting so offended at every little thing in the United States of America. I'm so over it.
Yeah, talking about vice presidential running mate choices, J.D. Vance has just grown and grown throughout this campaign, hasn't he? He's just so calm and measured and positive, even dealing with a difficult issue like that.
Even with something like that, because he really has his hand around the issues, whereas Kamala You know, she has fumbled the ball at every interview. They tried to keep her away from any interviews. Remember how she got there. First of all, we had Biden, who was shot down from when he was running in the primaries for president. He was out after the second debate, and he said, or really pretty much the first one, and he finally said that and then Kamala was out after the second debate because Tulsi Gabbard took her out. So when Biden came back and said, if you select me as a Democrat candidate, I will bring a woman, and a black American woman as my candidate. So they both won on false premises because she didn't win anything, but she came in anointed and appointed because of DEI, you know, the diversity, the equity and inclusion. So that's the only reason she's there. And
we will see. We will see whether or not she's the right choice, but the Democrats may be wishing they'd done something else now.